All right, so in today's video, I want to go ahead and give you guys kind of a comparison, just an overview comparison between the adidas UltraBOOST 21 and some of the other previous flagship models, such as the UltraBOOST 20, the 19, and then the legacy original one, the UltraBOOST OG. So let's go ahead and show you guys some of the differences between the models. What is going on, guys? Hes here, CollectiveKicks.com. If you guys are new to the channel and you guys like the content, please hit the subscribe button. If you guys enjoy the content, please drop a like while you're down there as well. And if you guys want to purchase a pair of the adidas UltraBOOST 21, check the link in the description. It will take you over to Adidas site where you can buy them. $180 is the retail price on these for the new flagship model, and they do run true to size in my opinion. So in this video, I just want to give you guys some of the differences and similarities between this new flagship model and some of the older models. If you tried some of the previous models and some of the features you didn't like about the shoe, they made some adjustments on this one that may be to your liking. So hopefully you guys will find that insightful. You guys also mentioned you wanted to see a little bit of a side-by-side to this pair right here, the 380s. This is the Yeezys right here. And then I'm going to do a different video, I think, to compare these two head-to-head, the UltraBOOST 21 versus the Nike Infinity React 2. So if you guys want to see that video, drop a like in the video, leave a comment, let me know, because both of these shoes are really good in their own rights. They are definitely way different on feet, so hopefully I can cover some of those differences in a future video. I'm going to put those ones over here for right now. This video, we're sticking with Adidas, we're sticking with the legacy lines, and let's go ahead and jump in. So UltraBOOST 21, they have a couple major differences between this one and some of the other versions. The biggest difference out of all is that they have this Adidas LEP system on the bottom of the shoe. So this is basically the new torsion plate on the bottom of the shoe. Kind of a weird place to start, but since this is the biggest change, I figured we would go right into that. And now originally you guys might not have even known that this is a torsion plate, but it actually does extend out over here and down here and here, and it gives a nice stability to the bottom of the shoe. So I think that this has been just the long-standing traditional technology, and now this is like a revamped version where it's supposed to give you more of a catapulty sort of feel and just an easier ride feel. And I have to say, comparative to all of the other UltraBOOST that have released, which is including the 19s and the 20s and the originals, this one has the most curvature to it. So most of the time you've seen in the beginning, this UltraBOOST has a lot of curvature to the toes, so you can see there's a rounded motion there, but it's very flat on the back end. Same thing with the UltraBOOST 19 and 20s. The midsoles and the soles are exactly the same on these two models. So you can see it's curvature right here on the toe section. It curves up if you put them flat down like this. But the back section back here is primarily pretty flat. So the biggest adjustment on the UltraBOOST 21 is the fact that they made it so there's curvature on the front, but they kind of dispersed it more evenly through the shoe. It's actually curved quite a bit on the back as well, which in my opinion definitely changes the game a little bit for those people that are used to that flat foot feel sort of the UltraBOOST from the back end. This is definitely more of kind of a rocker motion on your foot, but nothing as extreme like the Hokas. The Hoka series, for the most part, there's a couple different ones that really have a crazy rocker feel, and I don't really like it. The stacks are too high and it's too rockery. You don't get that from this. It's really weird because it looks like it's going to be one of those shoes that has really an odd feel on feet, but you put them on feet and they just feel like a natural motion shoe. It just feels good on feet, and I like the changes that they made. The one call out that I mentioned in the review of this shoe is the Boost stack is obviously way bigger than the regular Boost. So first you had the original UltraBOOST, and then the UltraBOOST 19 was 20% more boost than the previous predecessor, and now the 21 is 6% bigger than the UltraBOOST 19 and 20s. So this is 26% bigger than the original UltraBOOST, and you could see visually it's obviously way bigger. Like the stack of Boost is unbelievably massive on the butt of the shoe. Big booty Judy, huge butt on the back of here, and it's very significant. But the one thing that's really weird is when you put these on feet, it's not like you notice this massive, like you look at this and you go, oh wow, this is gonna be crazy. I'm getting ready to step into this giant boat of boost back here, and you step in and you're like, whoa. Like it doesn't feel like you're stepping into an ungodly amount of boost. It just feels like you're stepping into a comfortable shoe that has a proper amount of responsiveness and springiness and comfort and stability. Like all those things, like it feels good, but it doesn't feel as crazy as it looks. So I think that people are going to be surprised when they try them on. They're going to be like, oh, that doesn't feel either as good, quote unquote, as I would have expected, or it just doesn't feel as invasive as the shoe looks, which I think is actually kind of a cool feat, because you try them on and you're like, wow, these are actually really good on feet. Again, stability is there, responsiveness, cushioning. It's like they have a lot of the elements that you would want in a shoe. The downside when you add more boost to the sneaker is it's gonna weigh more. So the UltraBOOST 21 is heavier than some of the predecessors. However, you don't really notice it on feet, but I wanna point it out because there are some really lightweight runners out there. These are not them. So if you're looking for something really lightweight, this is definitely on the heavier side. So the original UltraBOOST, like these ones, weigh 11.7 ounces. The bigger UltraBOOST 20 weighs 12.6 ounces. And the 6% more boost that you get on this one weighs 13 ounces. So 13 ounces is kind of on the heavy side. That's probably the biggest downside of the shoe because everything else is really good. Number one is I prefer the aesthetics of the shoe over all of them except for probably the OG. I love the OG shape. I think it's just traditional and standard, but I also do like the hyper aggressive new age shape of the UltraBOOST 21. I think it looks really cool. And the fact that it really is a nod to the original one. I mean, if you look at it, you have the heel cup that's the same, but like a more aerodynamic version made with this huge, ridiculous butt end of the shoe. And then also even with the laces of the shoe. I love the fact that they went back with the original TPU plastic cage. As I mentioned in my review video, I like to do like the Hypebeast style lacing on it. So you do the double thread through the lace cage right here, which is something that you weren't able to do with the 19s or 20s because of the cages being so drastically different. This looks like a heritage line that has been bumped up. This looks like the next evolutionary step in the Adidas UltraBOOST, in my opinion, and they did a great job executing it. One of the other upgrades that they're using to promote the shoe is the fact that they're using Primeblue knit on the shoe, which is a recycled knit. It used the Parley Ocean Plastics basically to recycle and reuse some of the polyesters and stuff and the yarns and the knits or whatever used on this shoe. So it's not using virgin polyester anymore, it's using recycled stuff. Which is great. And the fact that these are so soft and stretchy, you wouldn't know that it's a recycled material. But the fact that they're taking that approach, I think is a really smart move. On the 20s, we saw a lot more of those with the Primeblue on them as well. Like these ones, really wild. Love this colorway of the 20s. And that has Primeblue as well on the upper. But I like that they're continuing that with the launch models and stuff. Is super awesome to see. The overall knit pattern and shape is a little bit different than the previous couple models as well. The 19s and the 20s had this weird thing going on with the knit. For the 19s, they basically did the prime knit upper through the entire shoe, like even through the heel section of the shoe. This is like prime knit. It's a little bit thicker. And then this is like a little bit stretchier. So in certain zones of the shoe, some of it's a stretchier prime knit, and then some of it is like a thicker, as you could see in the black sections of the shoe. But as you work your way to the 20s, they had a little bit thicker reinforcement around the toe guards of the shoe. And then you had a bigger cage right here on the side. And then the back section right here, they kind of went with the OG vibe of the UltraBOOST and did like kind of a cloth sort of material, or it's just something different, like a neoprene stuff, but it wasn't like the same prime knit material as on the tongue, or it wasn't like a thicker version of that. But you fast forward to the 2021 and they went in a more minimal approach. And I don't know how they did it, but they were able to like weave like lines and stuff like de-embossed inside the shoe. So it just gives more curvature and texture to the shoe. So it makes it feel like it's more than one piece of knit upper, but it's all one knit upper that has a seam on the back of the shoe, which I think is pretty cool. If you see, they actually have images of the shoes that is like completely taken apart into all the pieces, and there's not very many pieces that make this shoe. And I think that that's a fun little thing that they're able to showcase how minimalistic it is. But again, I like that it looks like there has a lot of layers on it. The one thing is there is a little bit of reinforcement around the toe section of the shoe in this one, and it might be a little bit annoying because right here it's a lot firmer. So you flick your toe up and it gets caught right here a little bit sometimes. I'm kind of used to it, but it is the way it is. Something to note. Also, this material right here is stretchier than like the toe section right here. And then the tongue is actually a stretcher prime knit as well versus the back section. So they did different type of zones again with the stretch material on this one also, which I like the fact that they did that. And the breathability on the shoe is definitely really good as well. And I'd say that this is probably more breathable than the previous versions just because of the cage on the sides. They're not coming up as high and covering as much of the side of your foot. So this might be a more breathable option for people out there. And I'm sure they're going to have a summer ready version and stuff like that in the summertime. Now again, the heel cup of the shoe back here is a little bit more aerodynamic and thinner than the previous ones that we've seen. The 19s and the 20 had the same way where it had that little weird like neon light looking construction on the back of the TPU area, which actually I didn't mind. It looked kind of cool, but I think they brought it back to basics with this version, and I like that they did that. It also does say UltraBOOST on the side right here of the shoe, and then on the inside of the shoe it actually says de-embossed right here. It says prime knit in the prime knit itself. So nice little nod. You obviously know what it is because it has a branding. Bringing it back down to the outsole and the traction, they definitely went in a drastically different route this way. They actually added a couple different layers to the soles to just basically allow the implementation of that LEP system, which does kind of work. It's it definitely feels like a nice rockery, smooth motion, and toe off, it does supposed to spring back a little bit like this. So I think that overall, like for people that need that little extra push, as they call the LEP as a joke, but that's what's sticking, it seems like for me. It does feel like a little extra push as you're running and you get fatigued. Maybe it gives you some extra help and does a little bit more work for you with that. It's not the same as like the Nike shoes and everything else that has a carbon fiber plate sandwiched in between. Those definitely feel like a lot more springy and propel you forward. This is kind of like a lighter version of that, which makes me wonder what would happen if they integrated the LEP in the middle of the Boost instead and utilized it like that. Also, Adidas has another technology out there that's actually lighter than Boost and softer and springier. It's probably something that they could actually integrate in that shoe. I can't remember the name of the technology, but I have done a review of those on the channel, which actually those ones feel really good. One other comparison that I wanted to make was the Adidas UltraBOOST 21 to the 380 Yeezys, and they do have a very similar sort of shape, but I think the Yeezy 380s is definitely a little bit more aggressive and just more like out there. Obviously with the tongue collar comes up a little bit higher than the UltraBOOST 21, as well as the back tab kind of comes up and has less structure. So it definitely has the same sort of curvature on the overall structure of the shoe, but the Yeezy 380s actually have encased boost on them, similar to those 2K boosts. But again, they do have a very similar shape, and obviously they're both prime knit uppers. Overall though, I'd say that the UltraBOOST 21 is much more wearable. Just the overall design of the shoe looks just more like, I guess, modern and classic instead of just kind of out there like the 380s. But that's kind of a side-by-side look at the UltraBOOST 21 to the UltraBOOST and the UltraBOOST 19 and 20s. This shoe is a complete ground up rebuild. So the 19s and the 20s were very, very similar with exception of the uppers. This shoe is completely different with the upper, completely different with the midsole and outsole. And I'm loving what they did. I love the shape of the shoe. I think it looks really great. I mean, if you look at this shoe and you look at this shoe, this UltraBOOST 21 to me looked futuristic too, but then you compare it next to this one, it looks like a brick on the back end of the shoe versus this. This has such crazy curvature. I just love the overall look. Comfort wise, I'd say that these are really good as well. It's misleading the size of the boost on the back again because you don't feel like you're stepping on that much boost. And in fact, your foot actually sits down in the middle of the boost down here when you're actually putting your foot in the shoe. So you don't actually get all of it underfoot, but it does kind of surround your foot. The stability is really good on this, probably the best out of all of them in my opinion. Maybe it's just because of the curvature of the shoe. It just feels more natural. And I can't stress that enough. I mean, overall, you put this on, you look at it, it's hyper aggressive, and we know boost now, but you don't get that boost sensation as you would have expected. It's just really, really natural feeling on feet, and it feels really good. And quite impressed with what they were able to deliver here. So that's the video on the UltraBOOST 21. If you guys want to buy a pair, check the link in the description. You guys can go buy one. $180 is the price again. If you're looking for a pair of UltraBOOST 20s though, now's the time, man, because the 21s are out. The 20s are on deep discount. I've seen as low as $72, which is a fantastic deal because this is a great shoe. But if you want the latest and greatest, UltraBOOST 21 all the way. If you want the last year's model, which is deeply discounted and a great shoe as well, you can get them again for like $72 to $90. And again, I'll link those in the description. Or if you just want to go the classic route with the UltraBOOST, regular UltraBOOST, the DNA route. I mean, I love this one as well. I think this is one of my favorite colorways of all of the slew of them that I bought with all the 5.0 knit patterns. I didn't bring out the 4Ds to compare to these. Just wanted to stick with the UltraBOOST because there's enough to cover in this video. But if you do want to see like a 4D Ultra comparison to this, I could do something like that as well. Just leave a comment and let me know. But thank you guys for stopping by and watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. I'll have a couple more comparisons. Again, if you want to see that Infinity React comparison or the Infinity React 2, I can do that. But thank you again for stopping by and watching. Once again, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new to it. Have a good rest of the day. All right, peace guys.